And all it takes to end a run is to just take an easy layup.
Yeah.
Which Tatum is very good at driving to the hole. But if you're going to lead the team and the other team's on a 15-0 run, and you're still going down and hucking up threes and missing them, what kind of leader are you? Take the ball to the hole, stuff it in someone's face.
Easy, Mike, easy.
Maybe you'll get fouled. I mean, he gets fouled a lot going to the hole, so that's a 3-point play.
I think Tatum does a great job taking it to the rack. Welcome to the Probably Wrong podcast. Tony, Mike, and Dave.
Back at it.
Right back at it. Love it, love it. This is becoming one of my favorite, this is like one of the highlights of my week.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
It definitely is. And like we talked about last week, it gives us a chance to vent a little bit, to discuss, all our sports, our pent-up aggressions, things that are bothering us, or is that just me?
Probably just you. I like the sports talk. All that other stuff, I go to therapy for that. Maybe you should look into it.
This is kind of like a therapy.
I guess, yeah.
I
guess, yeah.
Well, something doesn't sound right here with the microphones.
Oh, boy.
We'll see. I don't know. But it's kind of refreshing, too, that we can go back on social media and not have to see all the election crap. It seems like things have kind of calmed down out there a little bit.
The first week was rough, but now it feels like people are kind of settling in. Just not I go on social media for I like to see jokes, funny memes, right?
Yeah, I like that. I honestly, I love people posting pictures. It feels like it keeps me connected with people.
Yeah.
I enjoy all that stuff. I don't want to hear your opinions about stuff unless it's something sports related and not serious. Like people will throw their opinions about Christmas or holidays or this Christmas tree crap.
Right. I just don't like the arguing.
Yeah.
Right? And then you get caught up in the comments. You're like, what the hell am I doing even reading this? I'm 48 comments deep. I got 17 more to go. I got to finish this off now. I'm invested. I hate it. And I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I reading this crap?
So it's with the Probably Wrong page on the Instagram, I try to keep it relevant to build up an audience. I'm always commenting on things through the page. And I try so hard not to get sucked into my own clickbait. And I'm constantly like, Mike, stop. You're promoting a show. Stop.
Yes. Grow up, Mike. Seriously.
Well, it's getting better. It's getting better.
Yeah.
So.
You know what else is getting better? Dave. I was supposed to go out with him on Saturday night, and he was shitting his pants at home. And at the ER. And,
it was a rough weekend.
It was a rough weekend.
Yeah.
God. I'm like, where's my Saturday night drinking buddy?
I know. I had all intentions of getting out Saturday night. I was going to meet some friends that I graduated from high school with, and they're early birds, so I figured get all that done early and then head out and meet up with you later on. And, that all failed.
Quickly.
Very quickly, yes. I went south really quick, and I thought I might be able to fight through it. And then Saturday morning, I'm like, nah, this is... Yeah. I need some medicine to help this go away.
What did you have? Like a 24-hour bug?
No, I had the flu.
You had the flu?
Yeah.
Oh, you sound pretty good now, though.
I feel so much better. I felt so much better Sunday, and then it's just progressively gotten better.
Good for you.
So
back to work?
Yeah. Can't miss work.
Days. I mean, only 10 men do that. Sorry, guys.
I called him Saturday, and as soon as he answered the phone, I go, whoa, something's wrong here.
Yeah.
But it's good to have you back.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that I was able to recover as fast as I did and get back to this, because I do enjoy my Wednesday evenings. So, yeah. And I, even though I was sick, I still did get to watch some football this Sunday, which was good.
Yeah, good.
I missed a little bit of the game. I was out there. I want to give a big shout out to the...
I saw that. My alma mater.
Yeah, the BSU women's soccer team won their championship. They're heading out tomorrow down to New Jersey. They got the automatic bid in the NCAA tournament.
Good for them.
So, yeah.
Is it a field of 64? Is it like that for soccer, or is that just basketball?
I don't quite know how it breaks down. I just saw their little bracket and how that goes. So we're just going to learn as we go.
Yeah, yeah. And
So.
is it the MASCAC?
Yeah, that's what they just won, the MASCAC Championship.
Okay. Nice, good for them.
Yep.
So
That's awesome.
congratulations to the girls BSU soccer team.
That's right. Well,
Some of our biggest fans.
yep, they are. You know?
Yeah,
And it
we
feels
don't
good.
have many.
We finally have a family member that's a champion.
Yeah,
like we all think we're champions,
Yeah,
but she
yeah.
actually has the medals.
Right.
And,
Something to prove it, yeah. It's been a long time
no,
coming.
it was good. It was a very proud moment as a dad to see a
Oh,
kid out
awesome.
there doing that.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
great.
playing a good part out there. It was awesome.
She's been working hard on soccer for a long time.
Yep. She's battled through. She ups and downs this year. It was awesome. I mean, just to see her stick through the down, and battle back and get things together. You know, she had her first ever injury, concussion, out for a couple weeks, coming back from that. So
She's like Tua.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
She's not giving up soccer.
This is only her first one.
Okay, thank God, thank
I was
God.
going to say, don't compare it to her.
Yeah. And then my buddy's daughter, my buddy Brian Rose, his daughter plays on the BSU field hockey team, and it looks like they're winning a ton of games too.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're MASCAC champions, but they might be because I keep seeing his wife post about it.
BSU is, you know, for
On
Division
fire.
3, we had their football team, soccer, everything right now.
Yeah.
You know, they've always had an influx of people, but not the biggest sports programs. And now I think they've put good coaches who really want to win and really get it. I don't know how it was in the past, but all of a sudden now I'm seeing a lot more
There was
titles, a lot more championship, a lot more deeper runs, a lot more, you know, just...
We had a good baseball team when we were in college, and then Sato Berry was a very good football player, and they had a good football team. But last year, I don't know if you remember, they had a quarterback that was potentially that was going to be drafted. He was at the combine. I don't know if he got drafted or not, but a D3 guy. So they're doing pretty
Who's
well.
that? I remember reading the
Press clippings.
The press clippings, thank you, that my daughter would send me. I'm like, oh, this guy's in Green Bay. This guy's this, that. And I did a little research. And I was like, wow, this guy's pretty legit, you know?
Nice. It's awesome.
So, no Jay Imlach, though. No
Jay Imlach played on that Sato Berry
Yeah.
football team. That was good. They made it to like a Super Bowl. They had a very, very good team.
Yeah, I don't.
Internet struggling up here?
Yeah, I don't know why it's lagging today.
Yeah, I don't know. My phone keeps going in and out.
You know what? I have a quick fix for this. If you guys just want to carry the show for a minute, and
right.
you can dive into the Patriots and Bears.
All right,
I'll be
Dave,
back.
this one's on you.
Check something out.
Yeah. Okay, Dave, why don't I start it? All right, go ahead, Mikey.
Yeah, you're the speaker.
All right, so going into this week's game, I think we're all very, very nervous about the Bears.
Bears defense.
Bears defense. Well, the Bears
Yeah.
have a very talented team, and I think many of us we've come to the realization that the Patriots do not. So going into this game, it was the Caleb Williams versus Drake May matchup.
Yes.
A lot of people were looking forward to, and I'll tell you what. I know Caleb Williams was the obvious number one pick overall, but I don't know. I like the demeanor and the composure of Drake May. I'm looking at Caleb Williams, and if I'm a Bears fan, I'm a little nervous. He's giving me
Very
kind of Mac
nervous.
Jones vibes.
Very nervous. He doesn't have command of that team at all. He doesn't have the confidence of that team at all, and it shows. It's so obvious. I mean, he holds on to the ball longer than Jacoby Brissett
Oh, I
does.
was thinking the same thing.
And how do you get sacked 9 times by the
team
New
that-
England Patriots?
Yes.
They had 3 starting offensive linemen down.
I don't want to hear it.
What do you mean you don't want to hear it? That's
How
a
many
huge
times did
part.
Drake May get
Well,
sacked?
I think a big part of him getting sacked was he holds on to the ball. Caleb Williams holds on to the
yeah.
ball. So I think that says more about
That's
Caleb
on
Williams
him.
than it says about our defense.
Because he has, I'm not going to say 3 great receivers. He has 2 solid former Pro Bowl wide receivers, and then he has a rookie wide receiver who, coming out of college was supposed to be one of the top wide receivers. And I don't know, he can't get him the ball, or they're not running plays to, he should be doing like a 3-step drop and getting rid of that ball. If your offensive line is terrible, then you get rid of the ball faster, not stand there and hold it and then try to run around. And he's trying to make plays with his legs. He's a run first, I think, is what his thought process is right now. And if you're going to be an NFL quarterback, you can't have that.
Right.
And
I think his biggest struggle is he can't process what's going on defense. Where I think Drake May can. And I think we see the difference between Jacoby Brissett and Drake May. Jacoby Brissett was having a hard time processing at that speed.
Yes.
But you watch Caleb Williams, and it looks like you said, he's processing at the same speed that Jacoby Brissett does. And that's a problem because...
It's a huge problem because Brissett's a career backup.
Yeah.
So if that's what Caleb Williams is, that's fine with me. I could care less. I'm not a Bears fan. I would hate to. I hate to see the Bears suck every year. I'd like to see them, at some point actually look decent. But I feel like they haven't been able to put a decent quarterback on the field forever. I honestly can't name
Jay Cutler. He was
might,
erratic, but decent. Rex Grossman got them to a Super Bowl. He wasn't great.
Yeah, his defense got him to the Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah, he was kind of like just a game manager.
Yeah.
But Jay Cutler was okay, but erratic.
But you go through the history of that team, and I don't think they have any like all-pro, Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Jim McMahon wasn't like the superstar.
No.
He was another one that his defense was just amazing, and he was a manager.
Right.
They just continuously draft kids and they turn to shit. And I don't know if it's the coaching or the ownership there or...
I think it's just difficult to draft a good quarterback.
It is, but they brought in so much help. They've got Komet at tight end. They've got DJ Moore. They brought in Keenan Allen. They drafted Adunza. Obviously, their offensive line is in turmoil, but so is the Patriots. But you didn't see Drake May get sacked 9 times.
Right.
I don't know how many, if he did, he got sacked a couple times maybe in that game. But he's making quick decisions. He's making really good throws. They're doubling up on Hunter Henry because they know he's his favorite target, so he throws it to Hooper.
Yeah.
Kid's catching the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it seemed like that game... maybe it was his little conversation he had with the offense during the week of practice, but his receivers were all catching the ball, which was nice to see.
Yeah.
Jaylen Polk with a touchdown. I was like, please catch that.
And then he danced for about 15 minutes. Like, buddy, you're still in the doghouse. It's just one catch. But, yeah, I think that was the biggest discrepancy. Like, Drake May was making much quicker decisions. Caleb Williams was holding on to the ball. And when your offensive line is terrible, you can't hold on to the ball. You gotta decide fast, and you gotta make that. But you know what? It doesn't look like he trusts himself. And then he has like these little meltdowns on the bench. And if you're gonna be the quarterback has to be a leader of men. We've talked about how the head coach needs to be a leader of men. So does the quarterback.
Yes.
If you look like you're throwing temper tantrums on the bench, that's not good for the rest of the offense.
We dealt with that all last year.
With Mac Jones, absolutely. And what was our offense last year? Terrible.
Yeah.
But you look at Drake May, who, for a 22-year-old, presents himself pretty well, and he has all these guys playing hard. We don't have a very talented offense, but they're all playing hard. And they're playing, and it's visibly harder. They're playing visibly harder for Drake May than they did for Brissett.
Yes.
You see them fighting harder.
Definitely. And I think early on in the season, I think they were playing hard for Mayo, and I think we started to feel like he was kind of losing that team with some of his comments and everything. And then he plugs in May, and you saw like a change then, but he was still making his comments and everything. And now they're believing in this kid because
Tony,
of everything he's doing.
Can you just see up there if you're connected to the Wi-Fi? I think I just did a whole reset here while we were on the.
I don't know how to connect to the Wi-Fi. How do I do this? How do I do this without shutting off the video?
All right. You guys keep this going because we have the YouTube and everything else going.
Right.
We might just have a quick hiccup here.
Yeah.
But we're killing it here.
It's funny because earlier, if this would have happened 6 months ago, we would have been in complete chaos. But I've learned slowly how to fix
Mike
all
has
this.
calmed down a little bit.
You don't call this chaos?
No.
No? Okay, it feels like chaos. Okay. But once again, if you're going to lead men, you got to be an alpha. And Caleb Williams
doesn't seem like
it. But at the same time, he is 22 years old, so I think we need to keep that in mind. What he is now doesn't necessarily mean that's what he's going to be 2 or 3 years from now. But
no, I agree. I just feel like he was kind of spoon-fed an offense, and not saying he doesn't deserve that, but I'm saying, you know, Chicago tried to build this team like Houston did,
Right.
for Stroud, and it's just not working out. He's not Stroud, and
Yeah.
he's not even close.
But I'll tell you what, if they drafted either Drake May or Daniels,
They'd probably be in a different
they'd
spot
be in a
right
different
now.
spot.
I don't.
I don't know how much different they'd be with either of those quarterbacks. I know you just made light of this a second ago, trying to compare them to our offensive line. The difference is we went into the year with our offensive line, no one was in shambles, plug and play. They had a set offensive line, and 3 huge pieces went down.
They lost pieces, but
I think if you put Drake May the way that offensive line looked the other day, it looked worse than ours. Jaden Daniels would be scrambling around the same way that Caleb Williams is. Right now, that is just imploding. Coaching staff.
there's a different feel to Caleb Williams.
No,
when
I'm
you
just saying
watch
you
him.
have wide receivers quitting on him. You have the complete meltdown package, and I think you put any rookie quarterback in that situation, they're going to struggle with that.
It's a combination of you know, Williams. It's the coaching, the offensive coordinator there. They're not changing any schemes. They're not helping this kid out much. They basically drafted him number 1 overall and said, "Well, you're the savior. Go out there and save." And it's like he's 22.
He didn't help himself
Where
out
was-
by telling the punter, "You're not going to have to."
You're not
punt
going to have
this
to
year."
punt. I know, cocky, but
Did you see the
stat.
the stats on that? The amount
Yeah.
of yards that the punter has punted is more yards than Caleb Williams has thrown for.
I'm really
for this
interested,
year,
huh?
yeah. And all the talk that we've had this year about sit Drake May and let him sit and learn. Well, why not Caleb Williams sit and learn? They don't even have a decent backup
They have
either.
nothing. They have worse than Brissett. I don't even
Right.
know who their backup is right now.
They showed him warming up on the sidelines, and I was like, who's this guy?
At one
Justin Elwood.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad. It's a bad situation in Chicago right now, and it shouldn't be.
No.
They're supposed to be looking like we're close to a playoff team next year. This kid's going to be great, and they're going to make the playoffs.
And that could still happen.
It could
still happen.
I have a feeling they're going to be firing half that coach or all that coaching staff, and he's starting all over again in year 2.
Offensive coordinator's already gone.
Yeah.
Coach doesn't look too far behind it after the year.
No, and the guys, I mean, he's been terrible. How do you not make adjustments? You're playing the Patriots. You weren't playing the Chiefs out there.
We talked last week that this was supposed to be the Bears' get-right game.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was the
And it
Patriots'
was-
get-right game.
That was such a horrendous game out of the Bears. And the Patriots, you hope for more touchdowns, but this is going to happen. And I'll tell you, the one play that ends up not on the stat sheet was the one that, oh God, what's his name? The receiver, Osborne. He stepped out of bounds and then came back in.
Right.
Yeah.
The play that Drake May made to even get that throw off, I thought he was throwing it away.
Right.
The footwork of Drake May has just been every week steadily improving. We've talked about this on the show before, you and I, about quarterbacks. We'd love to see guys that don't just run left to right, but actually step up in the pocket.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you saw that a lot this week.
Yeah.
That as the pocket collapsed around him, he would step forward and make the throw.
And another thing, too, when he steps into it, it doesn't have to be like a perfect throwing lane. He can kind of just like short arm it and get it out there. He's got a lot of zip on that ball. Maybe because we're used to watching Mac Jones throw ducks all over the field, and he needed 5 feet in front of him to step into it and wind up.
He was throwing ducks again this weekend.
Oh, yeah, I don't like Mac Jones. But
He's going to be starting again.
I know. But to watch Drake May not
Call
have
that.
a perfect pocket and just kind of short arm some balls, still get enough gas on it.
Yeah.
It's
A
good to
little
see.
later than what I had predicted.
But it'd be nice to see these receivers start pulling in the balls a little bit more.
Yeah,
It
maybe
was-
getting some separation.
Yeah.
Like, nobody gets open.
And they were getting open, and
Yeah.
they were making catches. There was a few where I'm like, oh, he's gonna drop. No, he caught. Oh, you held on. It's kind of exciting.
Bob Roxburgh here brings up another comparison we've been hearing a lot. The Josh Allen
Yes, and it's tough because I look at Josh Allen and he's like a freight train.
Yeah.
He's such a big man.
Mac Jones is the same size. Isn't Mac Jones? Not Mac. Sorry, jeez.
Same.
Ugh.
That he's. I think May is what 6'4", but
Yeah.
nowhere near.
He's got more of a slender frame.
Yeah.
Josh Allen's built
Allen's
more
a
like a middle
plump
linebacker.
guy.
Oh, he's had a few years in the
Yeah,
league.
yeah.
I think he's always been kind of a bigger,
Thicker, like
yeah,
wider
thicker,
shoulders.
Yeah, he runs people over.
Right.
And
But
I
Drake
mean,
May's
Drake
not
May's-
afraid to take a hit.
That's where I.
No.
That's where I see the Josh Allen comparison. As
Right,
as
he
we
goes-
saw, he runs head on into
Yeah.
these guys.
and that the head injury that he had, they never said it was a concussion.
He said it wasn't.
Yeah.
So he just they saw him get hit in the head and they pulled him out immediately. Go do these tests. So, he's a physical kid. He's not that big, but he runs like he's big.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And he's always trying to get those extra yards.
He's tough. I'd like
Yeah.
to see
I
that.
want to see him be Josh Allen, like with everything except for the gunslinger.
Yeah, Josh Allen. Oh,
That's
he's
what-
erratic at times, and Drake May really hasn't shown that.
No, it has always frustrated me with Josh Allen. We've talked about this many a times. So I hate to keep beating a dead horse here. Is Josh Allen, when he dinks and dunks and sets up the long pass, he is borderline unbeatable.
Yep.
It's when Josh Allen wants to force it downfield is when he is.
When he thinks he's Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah, what he thinks he's
Showing off the
superhuman,
arm,
and he
yeah.
throws interceptions, sets his team back, and they lose. And if in this year, he's
a
kind of
different
started
feel.
off. He's been playing. He's had to play the
He's
short
had to.
because he hasn't. Coleman really hasn't been able to get that separation yet. I mean, they just got
Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper. They're working on it. They have a big test coming up next week, week 11.
Maybe getting Diggs out of there
Yeah,
is a good thing.
we'll see. Yeah.
You'll see it next week with the Chiefs coming to Buffalo. If they can knock off the Chiefs,
I think
that's a huge step
Yeah.
for them.
I see it playing out that the Bills win this week, but when they meet again in the playoffs, the Chiefs will roll. I just see the scenario
It's-
playing out.
I mean, it's obvious. Like, it's the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They can lose one game to a team like Buffalo, and they're not playing their best football right now. They had a blocked kick to beat Denver. I mean,
Yeah.
that was a game that Denver probably should have won.
Find ways to win.
They do, and it's not always pretty. And Mahomes isn't always having the best game, and
He's
that's
actually
why.
having a tough season.
Yeah, this season hasn't been great.
Except he's got the best third down percentage in the league by far. I was
Yeah.
listening to the other day. Like his third down is absurd.
I think their defense is a lot better than it's been in the past. I think
Mm-hmm.
their offense, they're kind of struggling a little bit. But eventually they're going to lose because these teams are in games.
Yep.
And if you give enough teams a shot late at the end, somebody's going to come
And the
through.
way
you would
Allen's
hope.
been playing, I really see it this week. This
Yeah.
is going to be the week.
Next week, right? Is it this week?
This
This
it's,
week.
it's
This week.
It's
Oh,
a
nice.
Sunday night
Sunday at
game.
4
Sunday 4:25 game.
4:25,
Great,
yeah.
great.
So you'll be able to check it out. But one other thing I want to get into, because this has been thrown into my face all week long, is Gonzalez.
This guy, Gonzalez is the new Trevor Story.
No, and people are getting it twisted when I talk about it. I like Gonzalez. I do like him, but I can step back and look and going,
He's still
He's not having-
still kind of a rookie,
right.
and
you-
people are anointing him.
Yeah,
Darrell
he's not a
Revis.
shutdown corner right now.
No,
Right.
and this is the argument I've had big time on social media, and I'm trying to. It's very difficult to talk to people on social media, but they keep going. Well, look what he did against Chase in Week 1. I go, Chase hadn't played football in 10 months, and that was literally his first time out there. Okay, we'll give it to him. The next week, Metcalf and in 3 last names each had 100+ yards. I don't care. Man-to-man coverage, yeah, he did great. But you know what? What happened to the other? They're like, in 20 plays. Okay, what happened to the other 56 plays that they ran? We're not holding anything against him. We're
Yeah.
not holding any of the yards against him. He had a really good game against Ayuk, but they weren't really forcing the ball to Ayuk. Kittle was
And
going up.
Ayuk is not a great
Jennings
receiver.
had 88 yards. I mean, that whole team was. But I'll give you that. Okay, he had a good game against Ayuk. He got blown up against the Texans. He got blown up against Ridley. Thomas Jr. for the Jaguars burned him. Like, he's had some clunkers. And that's all I'm saying, is he is just not the best cornerback in the league right now, guys. Like, we hope.
You see the potential where he could maybe one day be a top 5 corner, right? Yeah. You see the potential, and you see how, like, smooth he moves. But there's been a lot of balls that he hasn't quite got. He's, like, in the vicinity, which is frustrating, but people are making plays on him. And but like Dave said, he's young, and he's still developing, and you missed the majority of last season.
And that's all I'm saying. It's just you're coming up and go, whoa, it's all gone. So gone. Guys, pump your brakes. He's not Darrelle Revis yet.
Right.
He could be.
He shut down Adunza, and
that's the other thing with Mr. Paul Corners. I don't see him right now.
The Bears couldn't get the ball out, number one, and I mean the Patriots defense was in Williams' face all day, which they hardly ever have pressure on quarterbacks. So when a quarterback has 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds to throw the ball, it's tough to cover a receiver for that long. So I give Gonzalez credit for, trying to stay with a guy for 4 or 5 seconds. But when you play in the Bears and they were getting to Williams in 2 seconds, you don't really have to cover very much.
And
you put a hand on him and don't even let him off the line.
And in man-to-man coverage, he's really good. He's had a great success rate this year in man-to-man coverage. But you look at like the first game against the Jets, when Aaron Rodgers wanted to throw it to Wilson, he did.
Yeah, nobody's afraid to throw in his direction.
Not yet.
No. He's not
that's something that
in time. And you know what? So this week coming up, they're playing the Rams. He's going to be matched up on Kupp and Nakua.
Tough matchups.
He's got a tough matchup this week.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. This is it. You get another big time matchup. Can he hold his weight, or is he going to get torched?
Those guys are a little bit different. They're a little bit more like slot receiver guys.
Yeah.
So they're a little bit different.
Stafford's no slouch at quarterback.
No.
So.
And that's it. I mean, he had a great game against Hill, but Huntley was the quarterback this year. And I'm talking about this year, guys. Last year was last year. I'm talking about right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, he had an interception. He had his first interception of the year against Huntley. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if they get Barmore back in the very near future. I think that'll help out the pass rush quite a bit, and then you won't have to cover somebody for 5 seconds. So, I think this year is just a getting better year for a lot of players, and then like Dave said, this is like his first full season. So we'll
I mean, if they pull out a win this week with the Rams, this
Paul Connors might be right. If they win this week,
the path is still open
for 7.
And Matty P's got the path.
Because then you got
path to the playoffs.
You got the Colts bringing back Richardson.
I know.
So all of a sudden, you take that's 5.
I know. Paul Connors
might not look so crazy out. Porn stash Paulie might be onto something.
I know. If they get to 7 wings. Yeah, 7 wins. We got to give him.
To our credit, though.
We did say if Drake May was starting,
it would change everything.
Different.
Yeah, because I had 3 wins with Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
Drake May, I'm a big Drake May fan, so I would have bumped that up quite a bit.
I mean, if Jacoby Brissett was starting last week against the Bears,
it would be maybe the worst football game of all time, and somebody would have lost 3-0. It would have been terrible.
No, I think it would have been 10-3. I think that's what we would have had.
I don't even know if it would have been 10. It would have been like 6-3.
Yeah, terrible.
I mean, the last we saw him, we were right down the field.
Sly would have had to hit a 65-yard field goal into the wind, blowing in all directions. Yeah, that was just to watch the Bears. God, what it would be like to be a Bears fan.
Oh,
I thought it was bad being a Pats fan right now.
At least we have some hope. Well, they do too.
Yeah, we can't take it away.
Yeah, they have.
Ship those wide receivers over here.
They looked better earlier in the year when they had a healthy offensive line, and it could give him a little bit more time back there.
Yeah, but he needs to be quicker with his decisions.
When you lose guys, you got to adjust. They're not doing anything to adjust.
Yeah.
The Patriots are on their 15th different linemen.
We weren't saying that early in the year. Guys, you got to adjust to this crappy offensive line. We were just blaming the offensive line.
And Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, so what's good for us to say about our team, say it with the Bears,
when
too.
you have a bad offensive line, you have to make adjustments.
Dave, you never said that once when we were crapping on this team earlier in the year.
I'm sure we did.
No, we never did.
You have to make adjustments when your offensive line
The
is bad.
adjustment was you bring in Drake May.
Bring in Drake
That was
May.
the adjustment.
That was the main adjustment,
Yeah, that
yes.
was.
Oh, here we
no,
go. Here's the Patriot fan who isn't out of them, you know?
Having a second tight end in there all the time. and
Which Hunter Henry, man, run block, everything this week. He looked...
And Austin Hooper looked good, too.
Yeah, yep.
Well, they were double teaming,
Half the time I couldn't
Henry.
tell who
Yeah,
was
they
who.
looked the same. Yeah.
which is fine, as long as one of them is catching the
they're
ball.
both catching it.
Yeah.
So, it's finally nice to talk about, you know, the Patriots looking good, you know, a little joyous.
A little hope, right?
Yeah,
A win.
yeah.
Woo!
So we'll carry this into next week, hopefully. But last night, I went to the Celtics game.
Oh, you went?
Yep. And it was extremely frustrating.
The court looked pretty cool.
The court looked great. I mean,
Yeah.
you either love it or hate that court.
I
A
love
lot
it.
of people were texting going, that court is ugly. I personally like the court.
Wow, it looked awesome.
I think it's great. You know, you're only going to see it Tuesdays and Fridays for the next couple of weeks, you know, especially if the Celtics put up
they'll be
stickers
bounced,
like
yeah.
they did the other day. I mean, come on. We're right back into what we did last year. Trey Young's out. The rest of the Hawks step up, and you just let them go.
Yeah, it was Trey Young. It was How do you say his last name?
Bondanovich.
Bondanovich?
Yep.
And they had another guy out, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what the Celtics do. I remember they had a national TV game against the Lakers, and about an hour before the game, they said LeBron and Anthony Davis weren't going to play. Celtics lost that game. They do this all the time, and it's frustrating.
It is
And
frustrating.
if they didn't win the championship last year, we'd be killing them right now.
Yep.
But the fact that they won, it's like, they kind of did this last year. It's annoying. Like, they play up to their opponents or they play down to them. It's annoying.
Yeah, because you should be taking every night serious and putting everyone out. Just
We
win.
went
You
into
just
this
win.
year going, Tatum's going to be on the revenge tour. Brown's mad.
Short-lived.
Everyone's mad.
Yeah.
I mean, these
How'd
past
that
couple
revenge
games,
tour look
it was
against
a-
Golden State?
Yeah, it was a tight. Yeah, Golden State. We just had a tight game to Brooklyn. We had to come back to beat Milwaukee. Like, we're not blowing these teams out. And you got games last night and die by the three. But at some point, when the threes aren't falling, and you got the team coming back, you gotta take
gotta
it to
put
the
a
hole.
stop.
You gotta
Draw
hit
contact.
some twos. You gotta do something to at least
so
keep putting
annoying.
points on the board. Because when you go 4 or 5 possessions with nothing, and that other team's scoring because you're not playing defense, that lead is gone.
Yeah.
And now that team
Goes
has
fast.
confidence.
Yep.
And now you're turning the ball over. 20 turnovers last night. They got out-rebounded by almost 20 last night.
That's just effort.
It is absolute ridiculous. I mean, I feel bad for guys like Peyton Pritchard who were playing their heart out last night.
Yeah.
And your
Having a
buddy,
career
and your
year.
buddy Queta out there playing his heart
Portuguese
out.
man of the year.
You know? And you got, I love Tatum, but Guy, if you miss another shot at the end of the game, it's driving me bananas. Like
Can
last
I just
night.
say something about him?
What?
He's not the MVP of that team. It's Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen's missed a few games.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown.
I know
had
he's
some-
missed
had some problems
he's
last
missed a
night,
few
too.
games, but
He's almost
but
the MVP of the league, Dave. So,
But he is the balls on that team,
Oh, he's got more balls.
and they don't really do much when he's not out there. I mean, the games he was out, they didn't have much of a great run. You thought against Steve Kerr, Tatum was gonna, really jam it down his throat.
Yeah, I was hoping.
No Jaylen Brown, they lose.
Tatum still had a great game, but you had guys like Drew Holiday who
Yeah,
did nothing.
but he doesn't-
White who did nothing. Al Horford who did
I
nothing.
know you're gonna defend Tatum to the end, but
I'm going to defend Tatum because I have two
he's a
eyes and I
great-
watched the
He's a
game.
great player. He just doesn't have that.
That doesn't
He
make
doesn't have
you.
it.
He does have it. He
Jaylen
just
Brown
won the
has
championship.
it. Right, and Jaylen Brown won MVP.
It shouldn't
Eastern
have been. It
Conference
shouldn't have been the
MVP
championship.
and-
We all watched that game and go, "Wow, I can't believe they gave it to Jaylen Brown." So don't.
But they did.
But there's a reason why they all say he's number 2 in the MVP rating, and Jaylen Brown isn't. Even watching that game in the flesh last night, Jaylen Brown made some great buckets, but still, sometimes he goes to that hole and he's just like,
Yeah,
Like,
he's
he-
not
like-
a
like-
facilitator. He's a scorer.
yeah.
I think what Dave is trying to say is sometimes you want Tatum to have that killer instinct and just take a game over, and that's not. It's
not him.
Yeah, he's kind of like a more.
It's like the
passive guy.
opposite.
But this
Yeah.
is the NBA now. Nobody has that killer instinct.
I can see Donovan Mitchell.
That
Yeah, he had it on
Cavs-
Utah.
That
Yeah.
Cavs team is.
Yeah. But even back to Utah days, like Damian Lillard.
But let's not forget, Donovan Mitchell in the playoffs has been also a known guy who doesn't show up in the playoffs.
He's had some great games. He's had some mediocre games, crappy games. But I think when he takes a game over, it's like evident. We don't see that as much from Tatum. I think that's what Dave's trying to articulate. Is that he doesn't have that Kobe or Jordan or that like.
And that's what everyone. But it's what everyone kind of thought he was going to have this year because of what happened to him. And
it's tough to say.
It's like the complete opposite.
Take a game over when he's averaging 30+ points a game, having a double every night. Yeah, I'm mad at him last night because he missed a big shot, but
there's a feel to it
because he does it effortlessly and doesn't look mean.
This whole revenge tour is. Where is it?
He's having the season of his life.
They've lost 3 games.
That's the team. He's lost 3 games.
They've lost 3 games in the first 10.
Putting this all on Tatum, and
they shouldn't lose 3 games all year. That's how good this team is.
Stop trolling. Stop trolling. They're not the Bulls back in the day.
I love it. I'm getting under his skin.
No, because I'm just like, no. Like, you don't believe what you're saying.
Yeah.
I believe it wholeheartedly.
But just that whole team, like, you're just watching guys, and I'm like, what are we doing out there? It's it's infuriating. Like, that was just a night last night where we know now to these players that this tourney means something to these guys. And then last night watching
doesn't mean much to the Celtics.
I know.
2 years in a row they've looked like shit.
Yep.
We need the real star back, Kristaps.
Porzingis.
No one can argue with you on that one.
He's the man.
Yeah. You got me frustrated.
Yeah, I can sense it.
I love it.
Yeah. But this is their style of basketball. They're going to dribble, penetrate, and they're going to take 3-pointers.
Yeah.
And they showed last year that it's good enough to win the title and win the title pretty easily. And if there's a night in the regular season where it's not working, they're thinking in their head, it didn't work tonight, but this system works 4 out of 5 nights, all the time.
And I'm fine with that during the whole season. Yeah, you're not going to win every game the way we play this. It's not a sustainable 72-win formula. Is it sustainable 7-game series winner? Yes.
It already showed.
It showed, but I mean, playing a different team every night, it doesn't work that way. I was just hoping with last night, with it being actually an important game, I wanted to see something of it. Like losing to the Hawks on a Tuesday night in November, I wouldn't be as frustrated, but I'm like, come on, like
I don't think these players like really care. They're so bought into the system. It's like, oh, the system failed us today, but I think that's the way they think. And Mazzulla is almost a perfect coach for that. He's got no emotion. Guys, this is
just anger.
This was our game plan to shoot 53s, and we shot 53s. Nice job.
Yeah.
I think that's how he thinks. It's like very logically thinking. We don't love it because we're like, there's so many easy baskets to be had.
And it's almost like I only hate it when they're up and they start missing, and the other team goes down and it's just
starts banging them,
picking away at twos. Last night we lost because Atlanta was way better in the paint.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And all it takes to end a run is to just take an easy layup.
Yeah.
Which Tatum is very good at driving to the hole. But if you're going to lead the team and the other team's on a 15-0 run and you're still going down and hucking up threes and missing them, what kind of leader are you? Take the ball to the hole, stuff it in someone's face.
Easy, Mike, easy.
Maybe you get fouled. I mean, he gets fouled a lot going to the hole, so that's a 3-point play.
I think Tatum does a great job taking it to the rack, drawing contact. So I know what you're saying. Like, just do that.
End a run by doing that.
Yeah, and then taking your time, getting to the line, kind of slow down the momentum of the other team. Yeah, it's frustrating, but they've shown us that's not the way they're going to play. No. They're going to dribble, penetrate for the wide open 3.
And it's funny because you look at the other teams in the league with the Cleveland Cavaliers and like the LA Lakers who are on great runs. You know how they're winning? In the paint.
Yeah. But we're not going to win in the paint.
No.
Because even when we have Porzingis, he's banging threes.
Yeah. Yep.
This is how we're going to win. And if we're on, none of these teams can beat us.
Porzingis' 3-point shot, just the way that he stands. And
it's like sideways. Sideways. Looks terrible.
It looks terrible, but when it goes in, you're like,
awesome.
What a shot.
And then he's like ducking down low. He's pointing at people. I love it. But you know what? Like, the upside of the Celtics is so much higher than everyone else because if the Celtics are on fire, they're going to score 140.
Yeah.
If another team is on fire shooting twos, they can only score 110, 112.
Well, and let's not forget, we have Tatum out there playing hurt because we have Giannis, who all of a sudden, they created this rule to prevent what Giannis just did.
Yeah.
You know, how many guys have been taken out for long lengths of time for landing like that?
That rule started with Jaja Pachula taking out Kawhi Leonard.
Yep.
Yes.
Same way.
Yep.
And
on purpose.
no call.
Yeah, on purpose.
You know, it drives me crazy. Giannis came into this league. He played a European tough style, both ends of the court, became the Greek freak, was unstoppable. And then after a few years, he became Americanized.
I hate it.
And now
he won a title.
He's a little bitch.
Yeah, he lollygags. He plays only hard when he wants to. He's constantly complaining.
Takes nights
trying
off.
to shoot, take nights off. Just not doing it. It's just like, guy.
He's doing the stupid
hanging out with Joel Embiid,
Jaylen
right?
Brown.
Yeah.
Spending time with Embiid.
They're 2-8. Yeah. They were supposed to be like one of the top teams. They are 2-8, and you're messing around.
Talk about a fall from grace. I mean, they were champs a few years ago.
I don't know if he even cares.
No,
you know, he's laughing on the court.
I don't think
like,
he does.
You're 2-8. There's nothing to laugh about. And the funny thing is, the Milwaukee Bucks fired Adrian Griffin when they were 31-13, and they hired Doc Rivers, and they've been under 500.
And Adrian Griffin has turned the Suns team around. You know?
Yeah, good for him.
And it's because you look at it at one time, right, with Giannis, how powerful he was. When he would come into that lane, everyone would clear up. And then when he came into this league, it came in down the hole the other day, and Jaylen Brown just put his arm up.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown didn't even move.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, man, that was solid. Yeah. You know? And that was awful that he got a flagrant for that. Because if you watch it in real time, you're like, ooh, that looks a little rough. And then you slow it down. And once they slowed it down, I go, you can honestly see that he was kind of just protecting himself a little bit.
They also had the incident where they had the fake handshake where Giannis went to shake his hand and then he did that. So I think Jaylen might have done that on purpose, which I'm okay with. If somebody embarrasses you on the court, you know what? Throw an elbow to his throat. Yeah. Like, I'm not a big Giannis fan.
Elbow to his throat.
Like, if you're going to act like a jackass, then you know what? You're going to take a hit.
Treat you like a jackass.
Yeah. I was actually happy that Jaylen did that.
Oh, yeah,
I wish he would have done that to Grant Williams, and Grant Williams took out Tatum. Like, but I think the Celtics need a little bit of that. Yep. Like, don't let people come in here.
We had said before we want it to be Kata.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, you need somebody, like some kind of enforcer.
Ethan chimes in, KG for a coach. I honestly think Kevin Garnett would not be a good coach. I just think guys would eventually tune him out.
He's too intense for today's athlete.
Yeah.
I think he'd have a heart attack or a stroke.
Yeah. He's much too intense.
Yeah. All that.
Even his
gusto.
Interviews right now.
I love it.
He gets all fired up, and you're like,
easily my favorite athlete of all time.
I love it. I love
the fire.
But it's funny because we all talk about KG, coach, this big guy, this and that. We all forget KG was the guy that would run away from fights.
Oh, yeah. He's a little bitch.
Like Kevin Garnett for most of his career was a little bitch.
Yeah, but I love him.
And he was looked at across the NBA as a fake tough guy.
Like a shit talker.
Yeah, then he comes to Boston where we love guys pumping his chest and this and that. But every single altercation, if you look on it, there's clips dedicated to it. He's the guy to get in there, fire it up, and then run.
Yeah.
He had the one, I forget what it was, that he had the guy, and the guy was like, had his hand up, and he kept holding it to like grab him. Like, he's holding me back. He's holding me back.
The only fight he really tried to initiate was with Dwight Howard. Remember he tried breaking his arm with the elbows? But he ran from Carmelo Anthony. He ran from still my favorite athlete of all time. I just love the intensity that he brought. You cannot question his intensity and his fire.
Yeah, the Carmelo Anthony incident when Carmelo Anthony called him out and waited for him at the bus, and Kevin Garnett was like, nope.
Yeah, I'm good. He was talking smack about Carmelo's woman, right?
Yeah.
Eating the...
calling her, what was he, a honey nut or something like that?
Yeah, he was eating cereal. You know,
Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yes, something like that.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
But, yeah. Well, Kevin Garnett.
No, I think he's too... He would be like Bob Knight if he was a coach. It's too much for today's athlete. You need somebody kind of like Missoula, like kind of calm, like mild-mannered, not
I don't
too
think
emotional.
These guys can handle it.
Yeah. You know, because too much fire, I don't know if they can... he'd be arguing with his players, and I don't know if they can deal with it.
They would tune him out because they a quick Google search, and they would find the same thing. Like, this guy's hitting and yelling at us and this and that, and he's he's a little bitch.
Right,
Or a
right.
big bitch.
Yeah, yeah,
Big, tall bitch.
Yeah, it's just the way athletes are nowadays, too, I think.
Well, but we'll see. They tip off in about 25 minutes.
Who are they playing tonight?
Brooklyn again.
That's good.
Brooklyn's playing incredibly tough.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, took us to the wire. So
If you notice the Celtics' losses, they lose against scrappy teams. That's why they struggle with Indiana.
Yep.
That Hawks team, they weren't talented, but they were playing hard.
Yep.
Brooklyn plays hard, so Oklahoma City, we talked about last year, how they play hard. So any team that plays hard and plays fast, Celtics seem to struggle against.
I mean, if we can't rebound, we're going to have a tough time because teams have figured out that's a huge weakness with us.
Yeah, we don't rebound. We hit threes. That's what we do. We hit threes, and in the playoffs, we play good defense and hit threes. That's it. That's the formula.
How about the big meeting we have in town?
Meeting.
Juan Soto.
Juan Soto.
That's right. He's here tomorrow, I think it is.
All right.
Left Toronto. He may even be in town now.
Yeah, I can see this just being just something to spice up his other moves. He's not signing here.
He's said before he lives next to David Ortiz.
Okay.
What got him into baseball was Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz. He loved the Red Sox. Huge fans. There's pictures of him when younger in the jerseys. Like, he loves Ortiz.
I mean, I'm not going to say no. Bring the guy in.
Oh, 100%.
But what happens when he turns around and says, I want, $400 million or whatever it is he's looking for,
600, 700.
What's John Henry going to do? He's going to look in the bank account and go,
I was listening to it again today, and they are not backing off their comments of spending money.
We'll see.
I mean, there are many years they come out and they pump their chests, right? And then they roll back. Yeah. They roll back the comments. They are full throttle still with these comments. So
what is Soto? I know he can hit, but what position is he?
Right field or left field? Corner outfielder.
Of course, Matty P had chiming in, no shot. No shot.
Well,
he wants to be the
it's
star.
It's going to happen then if he's saying
If Matty P said it, he's going somewhere. So, in my opinion, the Mets have the most money to offer, and I think if the Mets want him, they're going to throw out 10 years, $400 million. I think that's going to be the baseline. If someone wants to beat that, I think Soto wants to get paid.
Yeah, it's not just that, Tony. Juan Soto wants to be the main guy. He'll help. It's Lindor's team, it's Judge's team, and they still have Stanton. Like, he knows if he comes here, this is going to be his team. He's going to be David Ortiz. This is going to be his city, and that's what he wants.
Yeah.
I mean...
And he'll get it.
Yeah.
I also
the
think...
fans here are going to be like...
I think Lindor is not the player that Juan Soto is.
No, but Lindor was just... Lindor, they're still talking MVP.
Right. But Lindor is like a top 25 player. Soto is he's in that 5 to 10 range.
Yeah, but that's still Lindor's team.
Yeah.
Even if he goes there, it's Lindor's team.
Lindor's got a lot of character with him. Yeah. So, kind of
Ethan, I would love it if you went to the Dodgers. He's not even visiting with the Dodgers.
I think the Dodgers have their eyes set on the... Dave, do you know his name? The young pitcher out of Japan?
No.
That guy.
Rasaki Shimamobi.
I don't know why that's
I think it's
their top
Sasaki.
guy. But I think I heard there were 8 teams looking at Soto.
But so with the Japanese guy, I just found out today that he is eligible for every team. You don't have to pay that fee.
Okay.
Because he's considered a...
Sasaki.
Did I say Sasaki? Roki Sasaki?
You did.
Like
Loki,
but Roki.
You said it, but okay.
That's what I meant. But he's considered a minor league player.
Okay.
So
he's 22.
But he can go to any team. You don't have to pay like when they were getting like Dice K.
You have to
or
pay like the fee.
They had no fee. He is 100% eligible for any team right now.
Right.
So that's something different. I mean, to have a guy with this caliber of
he throws an easy 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
He's got a cannon of an
like
arm.
with this, he's got... What's the word I'm looking for here? There's a lot of buzz about this guy.
Yeah.
But usually when you hear the buzz all about the Japanese players, they come with a hefty price tag just to talk with him. And this guy is going to walk right out here. So We'll see. Yep, and that would be nice if he goes to the Dodgers. And you're right. I do think that's the guy they're going to end up with out there. And Soto to Boston.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Soto to Boston would give them another left-handed bat.
Yeah.
I think Soto ends up with the Mets, personally. I just think the Mets had a good season. They have an owner that's very, very rich, and he's going to overpay.
He just left Toronto. You don't think Toronto has a chance?
No.
I don't think any
Toronto
Canadian
wants
team
to be
in
in
any
it. You know,
sport
they
has a
tried
chance.
going after Shohei.
They never had a chance to show.
Yeah, no,
he
they
completely used them as a pawn.
Right. No, they want to be in it, but even if they
No
could,
one wants to go to Toronto.
yeah, even if they could match it or even overpay, nobody wants to be up in Canada.
No
the
one wants
price
to
of
get the pay cut.
yeah,
to go
the
up
Canadian dollar costs less. It's worth less. Then you got to cross the border. It's terrible up there. God.
I know. I agree. I'm like people are like, oh, I'm going to Canada on vacation. Why?
For what?
You can get maple syrup in Vermont. What are you going across?
yeah.
Like,
Sure.
what's
The Hockey
Montreal
Hall of
and
Fame.
St.
That's all I
Catharines.
want to.
You
That's
know,
all I want to see.
I can visit it virtually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what the Red Sox do. They need a right-handed power bat.
Yeah.
If you get Soto, you're going to have to unload some of these lefty bats. But it'd be easier to, if you brought in Soto, it'd be much easier to make a few trades.
Yeah. We have money. We have collateral. Let's do
Some
it.
prospects, yeah.
Yeah. I hate to say this, but I feel confident they're going to actually make real moves this year.
Hope so.
And I don't want to get burned, but I just think it's going to happen.
There's,
I think
there's a left-handed pitcher in Chicago, young, by the name of Garrett Crochet.
I believe you talked about him at the trade deadline.
Yeah, if you sign Soto, I wouldn't be afraid to trade off some of these lefty bats, even if it's Marcel Maya, because you're bringing in a young pitcher that pitched Major League Baseball, that's under team control for a number of years. So maybe that's a good way to get rid of some of the lefty bats is bringing in a lefty stud. It'd be good. It'd be good. But I don't think they're really.
And we're
in
not
this.
going to know for a couple of weeks, anyways. They're going to string this along. They're going to go. He's going to go to Boston. He's going to go to New York.
Yeah.
I think someone's Matty P here. The Yankees have the last call. They're going to throw
If
the
you have-
money. It's going to be a bidding war. You're going to see teams drop out.
Oh, Matty P, he's got to be upset with this, huh? Because if the Yankees lose Soto,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just an okay team without Soto. It's not great.
No.
He'll tell you it's great, but it's not great. John Carlos Stanton can't
you know
stay healthy.
They don't need their bats because they can rely on their defense prowess. Let's roll this into
as
a guy.
long as they don't have fifth innings.
Let's roll this into a guy that I think is going to need to really be on the defense this weekend is the Tyson Paul fight, because Tyson, those fists look, woo.
I hope this is a real fight because I'd love to see Tyson.
It's 2-minute rounds. There's a lot of different, but for those 2 minutes, these guys are going to go at each other.
If it's a real 2 minutes, I'm good with it.
But Jake Paul he's got to block some punches because Tyson
Tyson can still hit.
Yep, and I watched earlier this week, Roy Jones Jr. has been out on the circuit again, and he was one of the last guys to fight. Actually, I think he was the last guy to fight Tyson.
Yeah.
And he was talking like, I went into this fight going, there's going to be these regulations, there's going to be these rules. Tyson's in his 50s. I'm a little older. This isn't going to be that bad of a fight. And he goes, once that bell rang, I was like, this guy's an animal.
Perfect. I'm hoping it's not like kind of like an exhibition where there's like a game plan between Paul and Tyson. I'm hoping it's a real fight. I'm hoping Tyson knocks his head off.
Yeah. And I was saying this earlier. It is a no-win for Jake Paul. Either he comes out, he wins, he beats Tyson. People are going to be like, oh, you beat a 60-year-old man. He comes out, he loses. They're going to be like, what do you expect? It's Mike Tyson.
I think the win comes in his bank account.
Yeah, well,
That's the win.
He gets $40 million regardless. It's a 40-20 split.
Right.
Yeah, so
So-
that's $40 million.
Because he needs money.
Yeah.
Right, but $40 million is $40 million.
But it's a no-win for Paul. Other than financially, it's just, if you lose, of course you lost. You lost to Tyson. You can't box. And if you win, like I just said, you beat a 60-year-old man.
Right.
I mean,
right.
I don't think that. I think Tyson is still lethal. I think Tyson, if he actually got back in the ring again and kept training, he'd knock out a lot of these guys, these fake boxes.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And Paul's already said if he wins this fight, he's going right after Canelo. So he's going hard. His camp is they're gonna They want Canelo.
All right.
So,
Get some comments over there.
yep. Yeah, Matt, I believe it's $40 million no win. I was reading today that regardless that Jake Paul gets $40 million, Tyson gets 20. So
Yeah, they're gonna make so much money off of this fight.
Good.
I don't
And
know.
I heard Tyson wasn't doing great financially, so this is good for Tyson too.
Yeah.
You know, kind of because it looks like he's cleaned up his life quite a bit. So it'd be nice for him to get a nice payday where he can kind of live the rest
And
of
I
his
agree.
life.
And Matty P, I'll try saying it's going to be a knockout win style.
I hope so. I hope so. But then again, Matty P said it, so it's probably gonna. It's
probably be wrong.
He's gonna be wrong.
But I just think it's going to be very hard for Paul to knock out Tyson. You know, and Tyson. I mean, Paul has got a chin. I mean, I know you guys are out saying who's he fought, this and that. Like Paul's not gonna. I don't know what to say. I don't because I watch the Tyson fights and I'm like, oh, I get swayed into Tyson, and I'm like, oh, well, Jake Paul can fight it. Like, I'm just really looking forward to it. I'm really
we'll see
fanning
what
out
happens,
over this.
you know?
I like both these guys. I'm one of the few people that want to see Paul actually be taken legitimately and actually be like, oh, I can do this. So
Can we give Peter Barrett a shout out? Because Peter
good
Barrett
fight.
fights on Friday.
yep.
He's down in Mississippi, and it's bare knuckles boxing,
Yep.
which is crazy.
That is crazy.
You guys
At his
Shout
age,
out to
that's
him.
crazy. Yeah.
At any age, that's crazy. But shout out to him for taking that on. Like, and I think it was Paul Connors that said that's something he's always wanted to do. So it's pretty much a street fight.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So it's going to be on at Barrett's in West Bridgewater. Paul said
There's a watch party there or
there's
something.
a watch party at
Yeah.
about 7 p.m. So good for Peter Barrett.
We're stuck at work.
Wish
so,
I could. Yeah, wish I could make it, but I will be working.
Yeah.
Very disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And then
Paul Connors, it's me and you, buddy.
Then we got our guy coming in. Was it Cage Titan 69?
Andrew Valdina.
I think
Andrew Valdina.
I did the math. I think it's January 25th. I think
All
that
right,
breaks
all right.
down into.
All right, perfect.
So it will be a probably wrong outing. It's tough that he'll be a main event, and that's like a midnight fight.
yeah.
We were already game planning of how we're going to pull this off. You know,
He's
Maybe
gonna
if
drink
we,
about 4 Red Bulls.
Maybe if we take a nap around 7.
I can't have a big dinner before because
Yeah.
I'm going to be sound asleep. You know, last time it worked out great. We were out of there at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, but now
This
it's going to
time
be a little bit later
yeah.
with Valdina. Headline in the main card.
Yeah.
Might have to meet for dinner at like 8 o'clock
Yeah,
and then walk over.
right.
Yeah, we'll
And
see.
maybe Paul doesn't need the 15 martinis before we
That was pretty impressive.
And, it was impressive.
We get 2 months to plan this out. I think we
yeah.
can do it. We got to get through Christmas first, you know? Though a lot of people think it's Christmas already, and it's driving me crazy.
Yeah, it's a little early for Christmas.
I
little
don't understand the Christmas,
Christmas
trees going up
vacation
in
was
November.
on the other night.
Yeah. I'm watching Christmas movies on. People putting up Christmas trees,
Yeah.
you know? I don't understand it. Like, you guys get
Relax.
mad.
Thanksgiving's still around the
Thanksgiving's a
corner.
holiday. I go,
And it's
put
still
up,
like a few weeks away.
put
It's
up
not
your
even here.
cornucopia. Turn your pumpkins around. Put your fall decor out. You know,
Yeah.
enjoy it. Christmas is going to be
I
here
got my
soon
daughter's
enough.
birthday coming up, and then Thanksgiving, and then we'll worry about Christmas later.
Right.
Yeah, that Bob Rockford, Elf was on. They were all on the other day.
Yes,
I was
it
looking.
was-
I go, I'm gonna sit back. I had a couple minutes. I'm like, let me watch a movie. I go, I'm not watching Christmas movies yet.
Yeah.
Right after Thanksgiving,
Scrooge.
all in Christmas.
Yeah.
Right now, all in Thanksgiving. You know, they get mad.
All in
be-
shutdown.
yeah, they get mad because you go into Lowe's and Home Depot in October. They get the Christmas trees up. You guys are the reason because you're putting the Christmas trees up November
Too early.
1st.
Too early.
It drives me insane.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
My wife wants to put up the tree, and I'm like, absolutely. I'm like, you know what? If you want to put up the tree,
You're on your own.
on your own. I am
Yeah.
glad. Right after Christmas, I'm the first one. I love Christmas. I'm the first one pulling everything up. I want to decorate the house. I want to enjoy it and love it, but it's got its month.
Yeah.
You know.
It's not
And
yet.
you're like, I love the 4th of July. You know what?
Put your
Start
4th of July
celebrating
stuff
now.
up now.
What's that lighting off the
Let's
fireworks?
light up fireworks in the backyard.
Independence Day.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. Just gonna start now. You know?
There you go. All right.
But yeah, no, it aggravates me. But I mean, you really took my steam today with the Tatum. You know,
Yeah, you threw him off a little bit.
you threw me all off. The internet threw me off earlier. You know, but
When I can get you, it's fun. It doesn't happen very often, but
I think the reason you really get him is you really feel that way. And that bothers him. Like, you really feel that way. It's okay to feel that way. Feelings are real. They can be validated. But you feel like he doesn't have that Kobe in him. And that's what bothers you.
yeah, it's a little. I mean, it doesn't bother me to like. They just won the championship, and yeah, they don't win it without him, obviously. But I just like to rub it in that Jaylen Brown won the MVP and the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and there's another person in this household that loves Jaylen Brown that Mike loves.
It's not him.
Mike likes to drive that knife in the back with the here, let me irritate you a little bit more. Jaylen Brown sucks. So it's fun.
We'll see you next week.
No Bruins?
Oh, crap.
Oh,
I was just looking at the
Shutting us-
time. It's 7 o'clock.
Do we have I gotta go pee. We gotta do a Bruins minute.
Wow.
I mean, there's not much to talk
Well,
about.
there's a lot to talk about. The coach might be getting fired. They just had a game winner the other night. Late.
There's the music I needed.
There you go.
Mike was trying to send us home. I don't know. He wants to go light off fireworks.
I thought we were celebrating 4th of July.
Yeah, getting an early jump on it.
Take it away. I mean, the Bruins came
like
back.
I said, man, there's not much to talk about. They take their young talent and send it to Providence because you're not going to learn anything in Providence. So
We just got sent down this week. Patra.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So send him to somewhere where he's not going to learn anything, and then bring him back in a few weeks to see that Providence didn't teach him anything. He has to learn at the NHL level, and he is competent enough to play in the NHL. Maybe if you got some more effort out of some of your other guys, which I think they're lacking, and I feel bad for guys like Marchand because he puts out 100% every night. He's just old, and the effort's always there with him, and I think it drives him crazy that he's putting his everything out there every shift, and other guys are just going out there and kind of going through the motions.
Hey, it came together last night, and I think one of the things that was a very under the radar last night was where Pasternak was struggling. You saw Montgomery go over there, put his arm around him, kind of be like, "Hey, we need you. I get it. You're in a slump. We're here." Like those little things, you got to manage guys differently.
Yeah.
The shove on Marchand. I know we made a big deal out of it, but Marchand, that's how you talk to Marchand. Marchand handled that great. Marchand, some guys need that, and then you get Pasta where he's a little delicate flower. He can't. I think if Montgomery went over there and
yelled at him, yeah.
he would have been spiraled down. But
Yeah.
I think him taking it and kind of putting his arm around him, kind of being like, "Hey, we got you. We need you. You're the star of this team."
And I
we
still
gotta get
believe
out of this.
Montgomery is a good coach. I just don't think he's getting the effort out of everyone.
No.
And I'll tell you, another thing is when you're coaching against this team, not if you never coached hockey, the Bruins throw the puck up the boards. So all you have to do is pinch your defenseman, and you will get the puck almost every time. And it works. And they end up giving up these shit goals where their overpaid defensemen go into the corners and leave a guy standing in front of the net. They're supposed to be the big bad Bruins on defense, and they don't clear out in front of their own net. I know they won last night. They beat a St. Louis team that isn't very good.
We've lost to a lot of teams that aren't very good.
But they've gotten killed by the teams that are really good.
Yeah.
And those teams that know if I can go sit in front of a goaltender and no one's going to push me out of there, I'm going to stand there all day long and tip pucks in and get wide open shots and score tons of goals. And if you watch the Bruins play, it's so easy to get in front of their goaltenders.
Dump and chase, Bob chimes in. Yep.
And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. That we don't have skilled guys that can take the puck into the zone and make plays with it. That's what frustrates the hell out of me. And when You got defensemen like Lindholm. We've been talking about this for a couple of years now.
He's out now.
Is he?
Yeah, he's out for a few weeks.
No, I was
he's
very impressed.
He's one of the ones that he's behind the net and he knows that a hit's coming, so he just blindly throws it somewhere.
He's gone.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens with whoever they bring in. I don't know who they have to fill that spot. But
Bruins are frustrating. The Celtics are frustrating.
The Patriots suck, but we're hopeful.
Yeah.
It's funny, like, Celtics are great, but they're frustrating.
Yeah.
Bruins should be better.
They should be better. 100%.
And they're looking like they might be mediocre at best.
Yeah.
They need some sort of a shakeup, and no one really knows what that is.
And I hate to say it, Bob chimed in about it earlier here. Montgomery.
He probably has to go.
We
and
talked
it
about this
sucks,
last week
but
ad nauseum. Like, I don't think any of us want Montgomery to leave because he's been a proven coach, other than the playoff failures. But something's got to go. And what else are you gonna? It's not gonna be Sweeney. It's not gonna be Cam. We're locked into a lot of these guys.
Yeah,
They're
you
not
have no
trade
ability
around.
to trade.
Look what it falls down to. What are they going to get rid of? Goalie Bob? You know?
And I look at the trade that kills this team the most was before last year.
No.
With Taylor Hall and Nick Foligno going to Chicago for a bag of pucks just to dump their salaries. And those are two guys that they fit so well here. And we don't have a speedy guy like Hall anywhere in this lineup. And you don't have a tough guy like Foligno who can actually score goals. You have, what's his face, Frederick, who's really hasn't played well this year. He's supposed to be your tough guy, but he's also supposed to be able to score goals. He's not doing either. He's trying to be the tough guy, and other guys are like, I'm not fighting you. You guys suck.
Yeah.
Why would I fight you?
I don't know if your points are hitting more home today because of your glasses. The way
You look smarter. You look smarter today. Yeah.
Hey, did you notice when he did the coach thing? He was like, I could be the coach. That was pretty good.
No, I said I've never
glasses,
coached
yes.
hockey before, but
And next week,
But
I want to
it's-
see you with a suit looking like Montgomery
Yeah.
behind
You know
the
what?
bench.
That should be his like little gimmick. He should
Yeah.
come in with a suit on.
You know, for your Bruins,
Weekly.
for
Oh
your
my
Bruins
God.
minute.
Yeah.
You know how every Bruins minute Tony's got to go to the
I
bathroom.
got a suit I can wear.
Before we segue into yours, you got to go over there and put the suit on.
I like it. I like it.
You don't got to wear the bottoms. Just
No,
the
I'll
top.
just come in with the suit on next week for the whole show.
It's got to be like a tweed overcoat. You know, not. It's just something really. You know. Do you guys know what tweed is?
I have no
I
idea
don't.
what tweet is. Yeah.
It kind of looks like the fabricy, like a professor.
Okay.
You know,
like oftentimes like a tan color, like
Wait a
brownish
minute,
color.
I got something like that.
Yeah. There you go.
I would have just asked Tina when I got home. What's tweed?
What's tweed? Yeah. Hey,
Do I
Siri,
have one of those?
do I have a tweed coat?
You know, they got like the elbow
Yeah,
patches.
yeah, the
you know?
maroon patches on a tan coat.
I got
I feel
you.
that.
Yeah.
I think you look good on him.
You know, and here comes the coach for his Bruins
Yeah.
minute.
Coach
You know?
Dave. Bring to that.
It would work out. Ah.
All right.
Is there anything else we want to hit on tonight?
Ah.
I mean, the beginning of the show screwed up my whole NFL Week 10
Yeah,
breakdown.
and then he started going after your boy Tatum, and that kind of threw you off a little
Yeah.
bit too. Is there any new information on Diddy? Not really.
Nothing of substance.
Yeah,
And that's what this.
yeah.
There's so much speculation. I'm still waiting. I mean, I don't think the tapes are ever going to drop. I don't
even care if the tapes drop. I prefer not to see the tapes. But if the names drop, I'd be happy to see that. You know?
Well, everyone keeps saying they're going to drop, and they don't come out.
Right,
You
right.
know, it's just it's frustrating now because I want more juice.
We got
I want more
silence
dirt.
right now.
Right, and a lot of what they did was kind of like illegal, especially if their minors involved.
Everything, yeah,
Right?
definitely illegal.
Right. So if we did it, our names would drop.
Oh,
we would be on the
100%.
Enterprise.
100%.
So just because they're famous, their names don't get dropped?
You
That's
remember
not fair.
what was it? 2 years ago, where they had that sting in East Boston, the prostitution sting, and 24 hours later, all the names of the people that were
Yeah.
were
Meanwhile, there's a
out.
Diddy list, there's an Epstein list, and we can't get access to
No.
it because they're famous?
Yeah.
That's messed up.
It's ridiculous.
It's not right.
Give us the juice. Give us the dirt. I want to know who I can listen to, who I can who I can't listen to, who I can't watch anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's infuriating. There's a lot of these rappers that I like, and I'm like,
Yeah, and we hear the rumors, and you kind of want to know if it's true.
Yeah, give me the Tom Hanks dirt, because I need to know if I have to stop watching Forrest Gump.
Okay.
You know, because if there's a lot of speculation, but if a lot of that dirt's true. Like with a lot of things that he's into, or like Leonardo DiCaprio, that's going to destroy a lot of films.
Leonardo DiCaprio turned 50.
And still got a 21-year-old. You know?
How the hell is this guy 50?
What is the quote from Dazed and Confused?
I get older and they stay the same age.
Yeah.
Kind of creepy.
All I see is Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, he's kind of a creep.
Hey,
But hey,
they're all creeps.
yeah.
You know? And then what was it? There was a little something the other day. With J-Lo's ex, that so it was her first ex that J-Lo left for Diddy.
Okay.
And he was saying, I mean, he didn't give that much juicy details, but he was like, it was instant. Like once they connected, like the powerfulness of Diddy, it just kind of, she changed as a person, you know, she just, yeah.
Yeah, but you can see that. Like, that doesn't mean there was foul play at that time. Diddy had more money. Diddy had more power. She went with the money and the power.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, Russ Deering, are we still pretending Epstein didn't have the best life?
When Russell's a friend of mine from high school. When he comments, a lot of times I just ignore it. I just ignore it because I usually laugh as I read, and then I say I'm going to pretend like I didn't see this.
So I was watching something the other day on him, and I think it was before all the allegations, and it was him and a couple other people. I think it might have been the woman that set everything up, and they were going through the island, showing the properties, and I'm like, man, at the time, you're like, what a beautiful island. What do I got to do to get on this island?
You don't want to know.
This is great, you know? And then you find out everything.
I just don't know. These people are mentally ill, right?
Yeah.
They're mentally ill. It's people like, oh, it's a money thing. I'm like, dude, I could win Powerball tomorrow. I do not want to hook up with a 16-year-old
So
girl.
here's right here, Phil. It is a money thing because it helps them attain and feed their mental illness.
Yes,
so they're able to attain the new heights because of the money and feed
but
into all
there's
their
initially
desires.
a mental illness.
Yes.
Because if we had the money, I would hope to God you guys wouldn't get involved in this kind of crap.
If we had the money, you wouldn't be able to sit up here because there'd be so many shoes and
Yeah. It's
We'd have a professional studio.
yeah. We'd actually have somebody videotaping us about $15 an hour. We wouldn't pay them much more, no matter how much money we had.
It
Minimum
wouldn't be
wage,
full of
buddy.
baby oil and children. We can tell you that.
Yeah.
you know?
Maybe martinis.
Yeah.
Maybe a Red Bull here and
Oh
there.
man.
So,
Man,
but yeah, these
have
people.
have an In and Out and a Five Guys right over
yeah,
there,
yeah.
like the burger stand.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, these people are mentally ill because people are like, well, if you had that much money, I'm like, no.
No.
Like that. These people are nuts.
If you had that much money, they'd have a go-kart track
Yeah,
out there around the basketball court with an indoor pool.
Right. I'd get a new car. You know, I'd maybe buy a new pair of sneakers. You know, if I had that much
Speaking
money.
of new cars, you put up a little post the other day,
Ooh.
a little teaser. some
Yeah,
would
that's
say.
a teaser. Yeah,
Is there a electric car in your future?
that is the self-driving Tesla.
Why are you yelling? You got a little.
I'm very excited about this. That is a self-driving Tesla that does not have a steering wheel. Because people are like, where are the back windows? I'm like, you don't need it. You're not driving it. There is no steering wheel. It sits two people. It's going to come out in Texas and California this year. And Elon Musk was doing, I'm starting to develop a man crush on Elon Musk. This has been going back about a year. And he did a presentation talking about how most people have cars, and those cars are only used about 10 hours a week. He said, what I'm going to do with my cars is I'm going to allow these cars to make you money. So you're going to be, they're self-driving cars. You're going to be able to send these cars out like an Uber. They're self-driving.
Yeah.
And they're going to be able to pick people up and bring them to where they need to be. And then if you need your car back, you can call for it to come back. And he's projecting that these cars will make you about $500 to $600 a month. That'll cover the car payment. They're going to be under $30,000. So I was talking to my brother. My brother's like, dude, we should grab like 3 or 4 of them.
So, the big problem with this, I love self-driving cars. I'm an advocate that I can't wait till someday you can't drive on a highway or an interstate unless you have a self-driving car. The problem is not the self-driving cars. It's everybody else. Because self-driving cars, it's just like in the movie iRobot. They all talk to each other. They can merge at 85 miles an hour. They're not hitting brakes. There's never traffic. They all signal. They know where each other. There's no accidents. If a tire blows out, all the other cars know. And it's
Right.
The problem is the human error.
Yeah.
And self-driving cars can't react and predict humans.
Right.
And how idiotic we are behind the wheel.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with self-driving cars.
Right.
That's why you see all the accidents and everyone's like, oh, look at that self-driving car. It's because it didn't know how to react to you just going into this lane.
Can it react? And this is a question that we probably don't know the answer to. Can it react as well as a human being right now? I don't know. If the human being is 100% focused, maybe not. But how many people are driving that are not focused? Everybody's on their phone. Everybody's paying attention to their kids.
It's like you look at the traffic every day that we're sitting in. 9 times out of 10, there's no accident.
It's an idiot that messed up somewhere.
Not even that. It's just people not knowing how to merge.
Yeah.
And on the highway, when we go in and out of work out of 93, it's in certain areas, and they're all high merging areas.
Yeah.
And no one knows. And everyone gets mad. They're like, why do you go all the way down the end? I go, because that's how it's designed. It's a zipper. You go all the way down the end. You don't merge early. You go all the way down to the end to where the cones force you over.
Yeah.
That's where you're supposed to merge. Zipper, in, out.
And if you had self-driving car, if everybody had one, and these cars are under $30,000,
there would never be traffic,
there wouldn't be traffic.
You'd be able to go, oh, it's going to take me 40 minutes to get there. And you know what? It's going to take you 40 minutes.
And here's another thing. While you're driving in your car, you can set up your groceries at the store. You can do some work on your phone. You get some of that time back.
Yeah.
Where when you're in your car, you're in traffic. You're not supposed to be on your phone.
It makes me a very angry individual.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I went to the Celtics game. I left here at 4 o'clock because I like to get there early. It's just how I am.
Yeah.
I didn't get into that and get up to my area until 10 minutes to 6. Traffic was
awful.
Too
long. That should be a 40-minute ride.
Awful. Yeah.
Right? 45 minutes?
Yep.
Yeah, not anymore.
And I was just so aggravated by the time I got there. I was so mad that when I got in there, I devoured so many chicken wings in anger.
Yeah.
I was anger eating, you know?
Yep.
But yeah, I love the self-driving. I'm a huge proprietor of it. I can't wait till there's that day. It's far down the line, but you can't get on a single highway. There's because all cars have the computers. All cars have capabilities, or newer cars. I should take that back. Not all cars. And it's once you get into the highway, it takes the stupid out of it. You ride over a median strip, it goes right to automatic.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be back roads. I still want to be able to drive my car.
Right.
I want to be able to whiz around here and have fun.
Yeah.
But when you get to the highways, it should be all business, all automatic.
Yeah.
That's it.
I wonder what the percentage is that would, if it was 50% automatic cars, would that make a huge difference? Probably, right?
It would never work because of the human error, Tony.
Right, but if you had 50% less humans...
No, because those other 50%, because...
Ruin it for the rest of us.
That's the problem with the cars. They can't react to the human element. They can't... They're radioing to other cars. They have the frequency around it. They know what everything's doing. And you get Joe Schmo who's got a text alert.
Yeah.
They can't account for that.
Yeah.
And it's going to slow everything down. It won't flow the way it should.
Yeah.
And true thing, if every person drove 85 miles an hour, there would be no traffic.
Right. Well, you're supposed to drive 65.
Well, I'm just saying, if everybody drove the same speed limit, it could be 65. I just went to 85 because I have a lead foot.
Another thing that it would be great for is...
Hold on, he's trying.
No.
We keep looking at each other. I'm cutting him off.
It would eliminate drunk driving.
Yeah.
Which would be great.
That would be, that's one thing that would be a good thing. But as far as commuting to work, I don't ever see these cars being around before I'm done driving to Boston.
Well, I want you to think of the iPhone and where it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Couldn't do anything.
Yep.
Can't do anything now.
What are you talking about?
There was no
it sounds crazy, but you think about how far that's come in 10 years.
Okay, we'll put it back to 20 years ago when I got into the business, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a flip phone. There was no internet.
Yeah,
we were all reading newspapers.
Push to talk.
By the time I got out of my apprenticeship, which was only 5 years in, there was internet.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I could see sports scores. I could see this.
Yeah.
You know. And now you look at it just in since I got out of apprenticeship, the last 15 years to where we are now, I could 100% see that happening with cars.
Yeah.
You know?
And Elon Musk compared it to back in the day when you would go in an elevator, there'd be a guy there kind of pulling the rope saying, we're going to go to floor number 3. He's like, you can't even imagine that now.
Yeah.
He said in like 20 years, you're not going to be able to imagine someone driving a car.
And I can't wait for that.
Yeah. Oh, it would be perfect if everybody had one and he made it affordable enough.
It just has to be a rule. It just has to be like you can't get on that. And it's almost like when I say that strip that flips your car off, but flips your car onto auto mode. It also has the lane. It immediately, as soon as you hit it, you have no choice.
Yeah.
And boom.
Yeah,
you have no choice. And if your car doesn't have the capability, it's got the kill switch.
Yeah, then you're out. Just
you're
like
out.
that.
Back it up. And all the auto driving cars will be able to communicate and get right around it. No problem. Bob Roxburgh, the red line saw this and just derailed again. You know? Oh,
All right. What a great topic to end the show on.
Yeah.
Good
I love
stuff.
it. People think I'm crazy when I talk about this with the self-driving cars. A lot of them be like, what do you mean? How's that going to eliminate traffic? And I was like, I don't...
Because you're an idiot. It'll keep you from driving.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, the worst is when you get through and you're like, what was the holdup?
And that's it. And it's just
nothing.
You see
Zipper.
it. Yeah. That's it. As the great comedian Jayson Merrill, you know? That's it. Zipper. Or zipper.
Yeah.
One day you'll go to one of his shows and you'll get it.
All right, so we're done, right?
We're done.
We will see you next week.